I would watch out for that. On the offensive side, remember, I mean, Kellen Moore is a holdover from Jason Garrett's staff and a favorite of Cowboys management and ownership. So I would be surprised if they made a move on that end. But if there's a big change in Dallas, I would think it would be on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, and so then, Dominique, pardon me, let me come to you. I noticed your skeptical expression as we were listening to Jerry Jones. What was that face for?
So, I mean, first of all, this job feels like it is too big for Mike McCarthy. Like that motorcycle on the cover of Purple Rain looks like it's too big for Prince. He doesn't seem to be able to handle this job at the time. And Dan is right. Dan is right about that defense. That defense is really bad. That defense stinks like earring backs. So I'd be surprised if Mike Nolan comes back. There's no good reason to bring him back. And the last thing I wanted to say is Dak Prescott really should have some say in this decision because they decided not to extend Dak Prescott and give him a big contract. They franchise tagged him. So now Dak is in a position where he could choose to leave or go somewhere else or potentially pressure a trade or wait till he gets to free agency. That was a mistake, but that gives him so much power in this situation that I think he has to be on board for whatever coach they keep or decide to bring in. So if I was Jerry Jones, rather than going on the radio, I would go to Dak Prescott's house and try to convince him that this is the right move or find out what he thinks the right move is at this time. I think what Jerry should do is try to get him to forget about the past, the way that they may have disrespected him or tried to shortchange him in the past. I would tell him something that my friend Andre used to tell me. Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. That's where we're headed, so don't look back. And if I was Dak Prescott, I would respond to that by saying that's because they dip as quick as they can, and you will be all alone. If I was Dak Prescott, you get out of there. I have so much more to say on this, but I feel like I'm monopolizing the time. I'll let Damian say something before I dominate this whole Dak Prescott segment.
Yeah. So D. Wood, let me come to you on that thought, because while we would not expect Jerry Jones to consult with Dak on this decision, Dak really will have much to say about it in the way of his actions, right? He holds the cards in this situation. If he doesn't like it, there are things he can do about it.
Green, it's time to blow this joint up, man. Take some TNT to this thing and blow this thing up. I'm going to just tell you, drop one bomb in here and it's going to be over. The Dallas Cowboys, since Dak Prescott been out, have the worst offense in the league. Think about that. The Dallas Cowboys with Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott, they have a worse offense than your New York Jets, Greenie. That's bad, okay? So this whole Mike McCarthy, with Jerry Jones talking, always so preposterous. I mean, hell, if you got an offense worse than the Jets since your quarterback went down and with a capable backup, we got problems, Jack.
I think
that's actually a point. It's a point well taken, because he's not just a capable backup. He's a backup who I think was the best backup, or certainly the most ready to step in and win games of any in the NFL this season. So, Dominique, does that make sense to you? We can talk about how he doesn't want to pay two coaching staffs, but he does have a team that's worth $5 billion.
Yeah, I think he can afford it. That's not the problem. I think the continuity is something that he's more concerned with. I think the defense is a question, not a question. It stinks, as we talked about before, so they will change there. But I'm not sure Kellen Moore is the golden child that they once thought he was. I understand you lost your quarterback, the best quarterback they've had in Dallas in a long time, since Tony Romo, obviously. I understand that you lost him, so your offense is going to take a dive, but it's not supposed to be this bad. Like, it reminds me of the song Silent Night. Like, a lot of people sing Silent Night. You can go on whatever streaming service and find a bunch of songs a bunch of people that are singing Silent Night. But only the Temptations sang Silent Night, and that's what it feels like. It feels like Kellen Moore is coming with this sheet of music, and he's handing it to anybody, to Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton goes out there and he tries to sing Silent Night, and everyone's like, oh, that's okay. But then when Dak's out there, people are standing up and crying and passing out because that boy is different. And so I'm not sure that Kellen Moore is as good as they all thought he was.
So let me come back to Graziano to sort of finish this for the moment. What, if anything, should we expect to read into the Dak of it all based upon Mike McCarthy returning and whatever other decisions they make?
Look, I mean, with Dak, it's going to come down to, can they get the contract worked out? The Cowboys put forth an offer they thought would be good enough to keep him. It didn't turn out to be that. They'll probably franchise him again because they're going to have to get his health figured out before they can work on a long-term deal. But they still intend to bring him back, and there's no indication that he wants to go anywhere else. Being the quarterback of the Cowboys is historically a pretty good gig.
Okay, we will leave it there for the moment, but there'll be a lot more to talk about on this as we go. Meanwhile, Graziano, let me run the hurry up through some other stories here, including the latest on Christian McCaffrey. What gives?
Yeah, rotten year for Christian McCaffrey continues. He missed time with a shoulder injury. He missed time with an ankle injury. He hurt his thigh during their bye week 2 weeks ago, and now seems like he's likely to miss yet another game with the injury. Just a terrible season for Christian McCaffrey from a health standpoint. Obviously, Carolina not playing for anything. They say they'll bring him back if he is healthy, but with 3 games left to go, you do have to wonder if it's just about next year for Christian McCaffrey. Henry Ruggs, the Las Vegas rookie wide receiver, has been placed on the COVID-19 reserve list. Las Vegas game is tomorrow night against the Chargers. That means Henry Ruggs will miss that game. The Raiders look like they will be shorthanded on defense, too. They might be without Jonathan Abram. Cleveland Farrell. Could be a rough night for the Raiders in a game they absolutely need to win. And this is an interesting note. In Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers put their kicker, their punter, and their long snapper on the COVID-19 reserve list. That's the entire special teams battery. It depends on whether they are close contacts, in which case they could be back after 5 days, or whether any of them tested positive, in which case they would have to miss the game this weekend. That is why the Buccaneers have kicker Greg Joseph on their practice squad and used one of their 4 weekly practice squad protections on him this week because they know they might need to activate him for the game. A uniquely 2020 note regarding personnel and special teams there, Greeny.
Yeah, they play Atlanta. I was going to say exactly that. There could be nothing more 2020 than the kicker, the punter, and the holder all being on the COVID list. All right, Graziano, stay with me because it was also a big day for news out of the NBA yesterday. As I'm sure you've heard, Giannis Antetokounmpo agreed to a supermax extension in Milwaukee. His agent telling Woj it'll be the full 5-year, $228 million supermax. It includes an opt-out after the 4th year. And Giannis had this message for his fans after the announcement.
What up, Bucks fans? This is Giannis, the Greek freak. I'm excited for today. Big day today. I'll be here in Milwaukee for the next 5 years. This is my home. This is my city. I'm excited to be a part of this organization. I'm excited to go to war with my teammate. I'm excited to walk around this city. And it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing, and the show goes on, and let's get it.
All right, our Malika Andrews is with us here. She has a profile on Giannis that you can check out right now on ESPN+. And Malika, he had until Monday, this coming Monday, to make this decision. How did this come about yesterday?
Well, Greeny, we've always known that Giannis loves the city of Milwaukee, right? What he was weighing is, did he see potential to win it all in this window? Because after covering Giannis for 3 years, I've come to understand that really, besides his family, the only thing most important to him is succeeding, is winning on the basketball court. And so that's what he was weighing. But ultimately, his loyalty combined with conversations with his agent, Alex Saratzis, and then looking at the Bucks' offseason moves led him to look around and say, you know what, this is where I want to be. I want to announce that the show is going to go on.
Well, look, this is about the most important thing that could happen to this franchise in anyone's imagination. So what was the reaction within the Bucks yesterday?
Oh, I mean, sheer joy, Greeny. Could you imagine anything else, right? I was sent a photo from someone within the Bucks offices yesterday of champagne flutes and bottles of champagne waiting for him to sign his actual contract.